Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm CJ Tully, and we're starting to see the panic button get pushed around the MLB. Let's talk about it. I hope everybody's doing well, and like I said, the panic button is starting to get pushed here around the MLB, and it started with the Boston Red Sox. They fire head coach Alex CORA. The team was 9-17 before the firing. Since then, they've won back-to-back games, including a 17-1 victory over the Orioles and a 5-3 victory over the Orioles. So maybe this was the kind of juice and the motivation the team needed to turn things around, but this has not been a great year for the Red Sox. It hasn't been the greatest last few years for the Red Sox, and this was a team that I thought really could compete within this AL East. Now, looking at the team and how these players have shaped up, Willie Abreu has been the most dominant force for this team on offense. This season now hitting .298, 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. You pair him with the addition of Wilson Contreras, who has also been a great addition, a .253 average, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, and .837 OPS. 34 strikeouts does worry you a little bit, but he's putting the production in where it need be. Now you have some of the biggest stars and the biggest names on this team not playing well, and they haven't been playing well, and they still have not yet made up for that. Starting off here with Roman Anthony. We saw him play for Team USA, and some of the great performances he had for them this season, though, just hitting .217, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 27 strikeouts. You also look at Trevor Story, another guy, a great veteran for this team. He's hitting just .198 with 37 strikeouts, 2 home runs, and just 7 RBIs. Jarren Duran, a guy they've been looking to move for years now. They held on to him. Somebody I really expected to take that next step. I had him winning a Silver Slugger last year. Seemingly did not happen, but 1 home run, 11 RBIs, a .189 average, and 25 strikeouts, so just a .533 OPS. Where can the Red Sox find answers? Again, I don't believe Alex CORA was the biggest issue with this team. I get it. You just have to fire somebody, try and light that spark, and maybe it is, like I said, a 2-game win streak since the firing, but these guys have to step it up. These are some of the most veteran, some of the most well-known names on the team that aren't producing. Jarren Duran, Trevor Story, and Roman Anthony, these are guys you really needed to step up this season, and you just have not seen, especially with the subtraction of Alex Bregman and Rafael Devers last year. You needed somebody to step up, and you just haven't seen that happen here with this Red Sox team. When it comes to the pitching, they haven't been helping the case whatsoever either. Garrett Crochet, 3-3 with a 6 ERA. You can also look at Ranger Suarez. They brought him in this year from the Phillies, a 5-year contract for him, just 1-2 with a 4 ERA. And you look at Brian Bella, 1-3 with a 9 ERA. Gavin Whitlock, he's been playing decent for this team. You can also look at Sonny Gray, who hasn't had a bad year either, coming over for this Red Sox team this year. But like I said, 7 games back from the Yankees already this season. How do you make up the ground? Is this the spark they needed? I'm not too sure. I think they might be counted out already this season. Staying in the AL, though, let's go over to the Seattle Mariners, who have also started to turn it on here for the AL West. They are now on a 4-game winning streak. They're now 14-15 on the season, 3rd in the division. But this is a division that is wide open. You start to see the A's and the Texas Rangers. They really go back and forth as to who wants to take over this division. The Astros, we know their pitching woes, and Yordan Alvarez pretty much being that entire offense. So there's a great chance that the Seattle Mariners can make a late spark. They can start to turn it on and take over this AL West pretty easily, in my opinion. You look at some of the players in the last 7 games who have really stepped it up, starting with Cal Raleigh, 4 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a .360 average with a 1.3 OPS in those 7 games. You also look at another guy who's been a big star for this team, and Josh Naylor in the last 7 games, 2 doubles, a home run, 4 RBIs, and a .385 average. And of course, Julio Rodriguez, who you never really know what you're going to get, but again, he's stepping it up as well for this team. 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and a .385 average in those last 7 games. The rotation has also been a bit of a question mark for this Mariners team this year. You have your guys who are usually playing well, not necessarily step up this season, and you can always rely on Seattle Mariners pitching to be the cornerstone of the team. But this year, you look at some of the examples. Logan Gilbert just 1-3 with a 4 ERA. Luis Castillo 0-1 when 5 games started with a 5 ERA. So not the greatest start here for a lot of these guys. You expect them to turn it around, and again, if the offense gets it going, that's going to be big for the pitching staff as well. Moving over to the NL, the Atlanta Braves are really taking over the National League, and this is a team that I kind of counted out coming into the season. You saw Schwallenbach and Strider were going to be out for a majority of the season, but everybody else has stepped it up, and you haven't even had the biggest star in Ronald Acuna step it up yet this season. Same with Austin Riley, also struggling a little bit this year, but it's been a lot of the newer talent, a lot of the guys that they've brought in here that have stepped it up. The Braves now 20-9 this season with a +65 run differential. That is phenomenal for this Braves team. They just won 2 of 3 against the Phillies this past weekend. And it's been, like I said, the younger guys stepping it up. Michael Harris, what a big jump he has made this season, hitting 323, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a 900 OPS. This is somebody a lot of people were writing off last season as he wasn't really producing like you would have thought from the young star like himself. Ozzie Albies, he's probably one of the best veterans on this team right now, hitting 316, 5 home runs with 16 RBIs. Drake Baldwin, what a phenomenal talent the Braves found in him. A 311 average, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, and a 908 OPS there for the guy. This kid has been phenomenal. Like he won Rookie of the Year last year, so you expected a good season out of him, but he has stepped up in an even bigger way for a team that needed that spark plug to start the season. Also, Mauricio Dubon, he is hitting 283 with 7 doubles, 2 home runs, and 14 RBIs for this Braves team. The pitching staff also stepping up. Like I said, without Strider and Schwallenbach, they have still been able to produce for this Braves team. Chris Sale, 5-1 with a 2.31 ERA. Bryce Elder, 3-1 with a 1.95 ERA. These guys have stepped up. They've been leaders for this team. You look at Chris Sale even this past weekend against the Phillies. He got in a situation with bases loaded, 2 outs. He was starting to get very wild, but he got out of that situation, locked in, and was able to complete about 6 innings of work. So a great start there for him. And again, I'll keep stressing, this is without Strider. This is without Schwallenbach. And this is without Ronald Acuna really even playing up to par. So this Braves team can be dangerous. 20-9 already this season. And we have to look at the bottom of this division as well, as that's the opposition that this Braves team was looking to be able to have to go against to get through the division. That's the Mets and the Phillies. These teams have been absolute trash. There's no bright spot here for either of them. The woes have continued, both now 9-19 on the season. The Mets got swept this past weekend by the Rockies. The Phillies did break their losing streak at 10 games. They won 1 game out of the 3 against the Braves this past weekend, but you can even look at the Phillies win. Yes, you had Zach Wheeler come back, and what a great start it was for him. What a great story to be able to overcome the blood clot that he did. In that start, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts, but other than that, this team really scored on a lot of errors and misplays by the Braves. They had 3 triples on plays that the outfielders should have made. They just could not get to them where they slipped, and it was not a very reassuring win there by the Phillies. Bryce Harper did have a good day, but other than that, there's really no bright spots to take away from this Phillies team. And at the time of recording this, Rob Thompson is still head coach, but I expect that to change here today, as there just really isn't anything else he can offer to this team. You need some kind of spark. Like I mentioned before with Alex Cora leaving, I don't think he was the problem with the Red Sox. But now they've won 2 games in a row. Maybe that's the spark that this team needed to ignite them. You look at Garrett Whitlock, even with that the firing there by Alex Cora, he was even confused as to why he was fired. The players did not like the firing, but again, that just shows you everybody's on a short leash. Rob Thompson has to be out of here in Philly. The Mets, they might be under the same situation. I don't necessarily have the read on their base like I do with the Phillies, but the Mets and Phillies, they're struggling to even get to 500 this season. It's not looking reassuring. They are both the worst teams in baseball right now, the worst record in baseball. That's behind the White Sox, the Rockies, the A's, some teams that nobody expected to be good this year. The Mets and the Phillies, both World Series contenders, have been awful to start the season. They both brought in, well, really, the Mets brought in some talent that they thought was going to change things around. Phillies brought back a lot of the same veteran talent, and neither are really working here for this team. Lindor is now out for the Mets. You had Juan Soto out for a while with the Phillies. They brought back JT Realmuto on a 3-year contract, and he's now on the IL. You have Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper producing for the Phillies, but other than that, they have nobody. They have no 4-hitter. They have no depth in that lineup. With the Mets, they brought in a lot of depth in the lineup, but they're still hitting under 200. It's a lot of question marks for both these teams. Can either of them bounce back in the NL East, or could they even bounce back in a wild card position here for the NL? It's hard to say. I don't see the change coming for either team. I'm a little biased as a Phillies fan that I could say I think the Mets actually had the better chance because there's at least something different with that lineup from last year. The Phillies, you know what you're going to get. You don't have the young talent to even step up. It's going to be tough, but let me know down in the comments, what did I miss about this past weekend that you really took away from baseball? Do the Mets or the Phillies have a chance to make it back? And can the Red Sox turn things around without Alex Cora? Let me know, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Check me out every Monday and Friday where I post videos here, breaking down everything you need to know about baseball. And check me out on social media at Let's Talk Sports. That's on TikTok and Instagram. I'll catch you guys next time.